Engage big fat head mode. There it is. My big fat head, my big stupid head, live in front of you, making noises out of its mouth hole. Hey, I'm Eric. I'm making a game. It's called the Godkiller. It occurs to me, just with a little bit of effort, I could not squeak my chair as much as I usually do. So almost every single stream has got me like going. I could just figure out where I want to sit before I start the stream, but instead I tend to subject you to this. Okay, so this game, the Godkiller, is a 3D top-down puzzle-solving adventure game. I've been chiefly concerned over the last few months with the music on it. I switched from programmer mode to music composer mode, and I'll demo a song I made in a short amount of time. I don't think it took me more than, if I put all the hours together, 2 hours. I'll play it for you. It's called Marching Bells. The reason why this song takes not much time at all is because it's ambient. It's instrumental, but also it's ambient. So it doesn't need to come forth with a large melody. I don't have to work as precisely with all the notes and everything. Anyways, I'll just play it for you and then I'll say a few more things about it. So, ambient. Things can go over the top of it really easily, including dialogue. So, in that spirit, I'll talk over my own song. So ambient music is good for just kind of playing in a loop without tying to specific events in the game. So it gives a kind of mood, but I don't need to work that hard to time game events with music. Some of the other songs I've been working on have lyrics to them. They've got vocals. Those are going to be tricky to do in the game. They're trickier to compose, but also I'll have to hook them into the game as well, so that they fire off in response to scripted things that happen. More time creating one instrument in this song than I did actually composing it. It was that bell sample, which the previous stream went into some detail about how it was made. Another thing about ambient music is you can let it play for 15 minutes or so in a loop, and the player's not going to get fatigued with it. So if I put a giant melody into the middle of it, I lose that ability to keep on playing the same content over and over again. So anyways, there's that, and these are so much easier to write than proper songs. And Logic, or I should say like the synthesizers that Logic uses, make it so easy to generate a sound that sounds kind of cool. So there's quite a few things where all I do is play one note, and instead of it just being a simple note, Logic will add all kinds of small embellishments to it and modulations and things like that. So let's see if I can find another one. This one's even a bit richer. So that's really a collection of instruments that are played when I just hold down one note. It feels like cheating, to be honest. I'm used to putting out every single little thing that's going to happen in the composition, every single note. Some of the other ones that I've done have been like that. I also cheated a little bit. I'll go to a different one. I say cheated. It's not cheating. It's just that I've heard so much crappy music that was kind of thrown together like this. I think this sounds okay. It sounds fine. It's never gonna like get somebody excited about it. It's not the kind of music you love. It's the kind of music that just sort of sets a mood. Okay, so going back to this other song that I played before, but just as an example of the other type of music. So here, I'll play this one again. Eggs and Bacon. Okay. So this is the kind of deal where there actually are intended vocals on top of it, and the harmonies have to be right. So I initially sang what I knew the melody was I wanted for the song. It sounded like this. I remember how each day had to start with that whole breakfast spot. Okay. And then I had to kind of make all the other stuff around that melody. I had to make all the other notes so they'd harmonize and sound like something. So then it ended up sounding like. I remember how each day had to start with that whole breakfast spot. And if I pick a note that I couldn't just pick any note, I have to pick like the solution note. Or you could say that whenever you've already got like one note that is there, there's a limited set of other notes that can be played along with it. And as you add in more notes, like if you've got two notes playing at the same time, then unless you're doing like some funky chords, then there's actually only like a third note that will harmonize with the first two. So there isn't much logic and deduction in composing music, but as far as chords go, they are the closest thing to that logical problem solving that you find in music. So if you've got, you know, a C, and then you go with a almost any two notes will go together, except if you get too close. So that's discordant. Discordant. Now it sounds all right. Everything after that, a little bit further away from the first note. Then I start getting close to C again as I go up the octave with the second note. You hear the discordancy coming back in when two notes are too close to each other. Okay, so two notes are pretty easy to put together. You can only make a few mistakes with two notes. Three notes, it's almost like if you pick two other notes that work, the third one is implied. So there's actually just a limited set of combinations of three notes that are considered harmonizing with the chromatic scale. And it's not, people say it's like a cultural thing. That's true to some extent, but it's also just the nature of sound waves, and how when the frequencies where they go up and down, if they line up with each other, it sounds good to us, and if they don't, it sounds kind of screwed up. So these kinds of songs are hard to do because of all the harmonizing that's involved, whereas those ambient songs where I'm not really shooting for any specific melody to them, so easy to throw together. So it kind of actually is a nice thing for me, because I've had a number of tasks where we're writing songs where I might spend like maybe 2 to 3 weeks on one song, and there's a bunch of like ambient type music I need to make, and that's like a day or two and I'm done with another one of those songs. So that's good. And I have a bunch of kind of starts to songs, or like I'll just record myself singing a little bit of a melody, and then I've got that melody in the bank. Like I can come back to it for inspiration on how to build out a whole song. So pretty well stocked that way. Anyways, this has just been a little update of what I'm up to. Other thing is, I just closed on a house. Now, you'd say, well, why are you telling us about your personal life? This is supposed to be about your game and streaming and all that. Well, in my new house, I'm going to recreate my recording studio, which is not in my current place where I live, but I'll have a room that's set aside for my recording studio. And I've got all these foam panels that'll go up on the walls, so it'll be treated. I've got all the microphones. I've got stands to use for actors to read from. I had all this stuff set up before. I'm going to have it all set up again, and it will be a good place for me to bring actors in to record the parts and to continue doing some of the more recording heavy parts of the music composition. So that's actually good news relating to the game. Alright, I'm going to take off now. I'm going to stop the stream. Bye.